Leah and Lauren. How are you?
Hi, doing well. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I'm so excited to talk to you guys. To share your story. Why don't you introduce yourself to us and tell us a little about the Wild Mother?
Yeah. Well, before we do, I want to acknowledge that our studio is located here in Arts District, Oklahoma City, on Kickapoo, Osage, Wichita, and Comanche lands. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share a little bit today.
Yeah, we're happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about the Wild Mother. I mean, I love the name. How did that come about?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So Lauren and I are actually sisters.
Yes.
And we attended university around the same time. We had some overlapping years. And during that time, as women who were studying arts and culture and humanities through anthropology, and I was working on English, we were just really engrossed in a lot of fun and creative ideas. And we knew pretty immediately, once we were looking beyond graduation, that we wanted to find ways to work together as a team, and we wanted to work for ourselves. So that's really where some of our early business ideas came about. We were talking about all kinds of things, like, let's start a bookstore, or Lauren's an incredible musician, let's, start a listening room and just promote really beautiful art. But we landed on flowers basically after Lauren cultivated a skill that, looking back, is actually something that has been a part of our heritage and our lineage. We come from an agricultural family, and so working with plants, mostly we were growing food as a family, but just tending to nature and recognizing the beauty of it all has been a huge part of our culture in our family. So Lauren cultivated this floral skill through college, and some of our friends started noticing. And those who were getting married right after college asked us to try our hand at doing flowers. So that's how it started. I was an observer of the floral art that Lauren was doing for a while, and then became a collaborator, and we realized, hey, we like this. This is fun. And I don't know, it fits a lot of our visions of life. So, and then the name, you can jump in if you want, but basically we have just a love for nature as it has been created. And we think that nature is both beautiful and nurturing to our souls, and just lovely to be a part of and observe, but it's also fearsome, and it can be intense and aggressive, and we loved that there was that paradox in nature. So we wanted all of our designs to illustrate that, and we wanted our name to illustrate that too. So the Wild Mother is a paradox, and it's an homage to all of the divine qualities of nature.
That's incredible, because that is not where I was thinking, actually.
People
so incredible. I love that. I love it. So tell me, Lauren, what inspires you?
There are a lot of things that we find to be inspirational, and you'll see little peeks of it in our designs. But I think we see our landscape as something that's really inspirational. So we're situated here in the Southern Plains. We're in Oklahoma. And I think one thing that people know about Oklahoma is that we have some of the most beautiful sunsets and sunrises. But there's also this evidence of what was once just a big, vast prairie that we live on. And I think little bits of yeah, like the nods to like the prairie is super inspirational in our designs, but we also are multidisciplinary artists. So we are inspired by a lot of, Leah mentioned that I'm a musician, I'm classically trained. And I think that, yeah, like other art is inspirational, and the lives of other artists is inspirational. It's an inspiration to the way that we design, but not just that, like the way that we get up and come to the studio every day and pour into our craft. I think that, yeah, it's all of those things like are a bit of what inspires us. But then also like we're like natural storytellers. So when our clients visit us at our studio, the first thing before jumping into their Pinterest board or I don't know, like the things that you would think would consume someone's thoughts around their event floral, we want to hear about who they are, and not just them, but like the families that brought them up. There are a lot of things that we can learn about what we can bring to their event just by learning who they are. So, and then we like to reflect that back in our storytelling. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. So what do you think as women business owners is or was your biggest hurdle?
Yeah, this is a good question. It's a hard one actually to answer. I think as Black female business owners, I think a more helpful image than hurdle would be like picture yourself in like a river trying to travel upstream. There are places in the river that are still and restful, but then there are more choppier waters than other places along the way. And so I guess I use that image because it's really more ongoing than it is the hope to sort of jump over one event. So when I think of it that way, I can frame our business experiences in just like a general sort of baseline rule, which was that Black and brown people, especially the descendants of enslaved people, were never meant to be contributors or beneficiaries of systems of wealth accumulation or capitalism. It was not meant for us to partake in. And so standing in a space the way that we have over the last few years is an incredible act of courage and bravery, but also fighting against a system that's not built for you to succeed in. So the way that looks is, it shows up everywhere, every day, like even in just what it feels like to go to the bank and look for a business loan, or what it feels like to sign contracts or try to engage in other business relationships with people who maybe don't expect much from you or don't expect that they need to do much respecting of you. So there's just a myriad of ways that we feel the tension or the opposition of that river that I'm talking about.
Yeah. How do you think that we overcome that, or we smash that down, break those barriers down? What ways would you say that would be successful in doing that?
That's a large question.
Yeah,
I think
it wasn't on the list. Sorry, I'm just.
No, that's okay.
No, it's a great question, and it's something that I think we ask all the time. I think that a huge role or a huge piece of addressing that question is, I love that you use the word we, because I think that it will take more than just Black and brown people demanding to show up in spaces or demanding rights or I don't know, attention or care. I think it really will take the role of allies too that are outside of our community to
Yeah.
help change the systems as they are in place. Um, I think, right now we're sitting in a season after the murder of George Floyd and the uproarious BLM movement, and also the ongoing work of activists all over, not just this nation, but globally,
Yeah.
where it feels like right now the approach for people who are not people of color has been to find ways to amplify melanated voices. That's been like the theme that I've noticed.
Yeah.
And I think that's amazing. But I think an even better thing to do would be to figure out when those melanated voices are amplified, what systems are they getting to live in freely? So not just by saying like, hey, here's a Black and brown person that we know and that we love, and this is our show of appreciation to this culture,
Yeah.
but finding ways, I think, to actually provide equity for those people is really what I would love to see more of.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's going to take more than just, like you said, one or two people. It has to be, I think it has to be unity. I mean,
Yeah.
it has to be. I mean, I don't think there's going to be any other way other than if we all support, people of color,
Yeah.
everyone, you
Yeah.
know. So, I was on your website and I was so excited because I saw, on your journal, you have a lookbook, which I think is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. It's such an inspiration to be able to see. I think creatives like us, colors are super important to see, sort of color blocking and whatnot. How did you guys develop that? Because I don't know if I've ever seen that on a website where, and by the way, my favorite is autumn 2019 and summer 2020.
Oh
If
my
something good is going to come out of 2020, it's that lookbook. I love it. So
That's
tell
so
me about that.
Thanks.
So a lot of times we want to take the position of being a leader and not just recreating work that has been maybe overdone.
Yeah.
So we like to stay with our finger on the pulse of like new and fresh ideas.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we find that our clients just need a little nudge toward something new and something fresh. And before those seasons hit, as we're walking through a booking season, we want to present those new and fresh ideas to those clients. So that's where that comes from. And I think we look for things that marry really well with our brand as it is.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of the colors and a lot of the textures that we're interested in are a part of our brand, but not just the Wild Mother, like a part of our personal brands as well. Just the way that we live is what I mean. So yeah, I think it would be really difficult to present one way in normal life and then present another at the studio or in business. So yeah, it's a lot of times like what you see is literally like what we enjoy or the colors that surround us every day, not just at the Wild Mother. So
yeah. Well, I think too, your design aesthetic is cohesive throughout, all your website, your Instagram, your Facebook. Like it's all just screams, beauty. It's not hodgepodge at all. It's really a beautiful website. I love the colors. You guys working on any new projects during this whole COVID thing and we're all stuck and no events or weddings? How are you guys dealing with that?
Well, it was kind of weird at first. We were watching it pretty closely. Our dad is an environmental scientist, and so he had a lot of like data and like I don't know, lots of stuff to share.
Yeah.
But
Does
as
he
it
have any
got
secrets?
say it again.
Does he have any secrets?
Not really.
I don't think anyone knows what's going on.
Wow. Yeah.
He was helpful at the beginning, but as we were getting deeper into the spring, we had to, I mean, just like so many of other wedding vendors, we had to push pause on a lot of stuff. So that left some room, obviously, to sort of like recenter a little bit. It was actually kind of peaceful to fall into a new rhythm. But we also, so Leah and I are also active in some side activist work that has sort of taken on like another like full-time vibe. But we were interested in what our world was sort of groaning for as far back as 2016. And we invited a lot of friends or acquaintances on social media to gather in one place randomly one Saturday. And we just wanted to check in with everyone. And we didn't think it would like turn into much, but we ended up having like 65 people show up to our parents' home. They like hosted it for us. And they were, everyone was just like wanting to press in and talk about like what is going on
regarding like race and racism.
Yeah. And it was directly after the murders of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile. So anyway, we gathered and Leah and I posed one question, and that was, how do you feel, or how are you doing? And 5 hours into a conversation, like rich conversation, we knew like, oh, this is something special. As we continued in that work, we realized there has to be some structure around what's happening, because in Oklahoma City and other bordering cities, there were a lot of people that were interested in what we were doing. So anyway, we kind of like grew a little quiet, and we started working with a team, 2 other women, Kate Strum and Dr. Hillary Conan, and we wrote a curriculum that is a tool for addressing systemic racism, but also we teach a dialogue style that helps people have really like maybe uncomfortable conversations with people that they have relational equity with. The conversation it's simply called the Conversation Workshops. And this spring we had in-person workshops that were lined up here in Oklahoma City, and they, because of COVID-19, they didn't happen. So we decided to do a quick pivot and put a lot of hard work into a new iteration of the workshop, which is a virtual offering. So now we have a virtual platform where there are like 30 videos that work you through our entire workshop. And there are 15 exercises. And after the workshop, it's really cool to see that people are pressing into this new community that they found. So that's what we've been working on, and we've been so encouraged. Actually, we shared a bit of this work on the Wild Mothers Instagram, and it's so cool to see how wedding creatives have really responded to the call to action. There are florists and wedding planners and you name it across the country, but also in parts of Western Europe and South Africa and Australia that are pressing into this thing that we created. So yeah, that's what we've been working on. You can.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's been a nice way to spend I guess, the quarantine months and
Yeah.
to stay busy.
Yeah.
It has definitely taken our minds off of the fact that weddings are at a standstill right now.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have something meaningful to do right now.
Yeah. Do you think that you guys are surprised by the support?
That's a good question. Actually, sometimes I am.
Yeah.
It's really easy, I think, for work like ours in activism to go unnoticed or unheard for a while. I think, I don't know, I just looking back on the timeline of how we were creating the workshop so long ago and then already had plans to make it virtual before this global movement that we're sitting in today. I can only say that like there was some element of the divine helping us line things up in this way. I would have never been able to design it this way, but somehow we are able to provide our workshop online at such a timely moment, in such a helpful way virtually. But I can say that, yeah, I am surprised. Before a moment like this, work like ours was definitely going largely unknown. And I think that right now we're sitting in, a moment where people are ready. And sometimes I have to pinch myself like, oh, people are ready to hear what we have to say. That's wild. So yeah, that's a really thoughtful question.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this, and I'm so proud that, a lot of people, white people, are supporting people of color, African Americans. It's so important, and I know I said it before, but I think the answer to this is unity. I think we all have to come together and make the change and support you guys. I mean, I think that's what it boils down to, inclusion, equality, that's it. Boy, that's deep, some deep questions there.
Yeah.
I want to thank both of you for coming on here. You guys are so passionate about what you guys do. I haven't seen any of the workshops, but I'm definitely going to look into those. Yeah, for sure. I didn't know about them, but I will now look at them. And thank you so much for sharing your story. I know it's a hard one, but I want to celebrate both of you today. And I can't wait. Actually, I did want to say something to you guys about, and I was looking on your website. Sorry, I just remembered. I was looking on your Instagram actually, and I noticed that you had a little button that said, your store. So I was looking at the pictures and I was like, oh my gosh, their store is so cute. I love it. And then I started noticing the things that you sell. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I went on your website and you don't have anything on there. And I'm like, I wonder if they should open up a marketplace on your website.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We love our little studio.
Oh my gosh, I know, it's so cute.
Fun place, and we're so blessed to be able to take in what was a really old, dilapidated building, and I think it had been sitting vacant for a decade, maybe, if not longer, and we were able to take that and bring it to life and make it our own space. So we do sell some retail gifts and things like that.
Yeah.
We love selling them in line with our offerings around holiday. Yeah, like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. We'll open the studio doors, and usually we're just by appointment only, but on those holidays we'll open doors to the public, and it's fun because they get to sell flowers and candles and gifts and all sorts of fun things. But yeah, you're right. There might be an online market available. It's a good idea.
I'm going to check back with you guys.
Okay.
I would love to support you guys, and I think it's important. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Both
And
of you.
we also love our relationship with Mayesh.
Yeah.
Mayesh gave us an opportunity to do a takeover like 5 years ago, something like that,
Yeah.
on their Instagram. And I don't know, we feel super seen and loved by Mayesh. And our first interaction was with our rep Leslie, and then David. We just love the community that Mayesh has created, and we're so here for it. So thank you for the opportunity to continue to press into that community.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, and I'm going to be checking back to see if it is through Marketplace, because I think it could be really good.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to the two of you. Thank you.
Bye.